is up, Ninja? What is up, player? And what's up, gangsta? Today I'm gonna teach you guys how to layer bass lines. Now, we all know 3 girls are better than 1. That's why you have your main, you have your side chicks, and that's where. But there's gonna be a time where you find that one girl that's really gonna captivate you, and you're gonna decide to seal the knot and marry her. Look, I know I fucked up and used FL Studio, but I only love you. You're my only hope. Can we please get married? You're gonna put her in a song, it's gonna work. You're like, man, I don't need no side chicks for this girl because she fills up the mix really good. Same thing with production, guys. You might find bass lines that just sound good as it is already, but then there might be times where you need to layer because maybe she don't know how to cook, or maybe that bass line's missing a bit of highs, or maybe she doesn't like to do things you like to do in the bedroom, which in instance, that's why you got the side chicks. But pretty much, guys, I'm gonna teach you guys how to layer. Now, I'm gonna make this fun. I'm gonna have my girlfriend come in. I'm gonna have her pick a couple presets. Again, she doesn't know crap about production. In fact, she's not even gonna hear the basses. She's gonna pick some random ones, and then we're gonna get straight to work on this. Alright guys, so here we are inside of Ableton. So like I said, she picked 3 bass lines for me. The first one was the only sub you need, which she's making it a little bit easy on me. Okay, so that's the way that one's gonna sound like. She also picked Nasty Breath, I believe, or John Wick, which is that one, and then she picked Nasty Breath. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be layering these bass lines together, you know, doing it properly. I'm going to explain it to you guys and hopefully you guys get it. And let's get right into it. So, first thing I want to make sure is that all of these have the same kind of attack setting, aka they sound the same, they're shaped the same, because if one of them is faster than the other, like boom, and then the other one comes in whomp, then it doesn't really work. So if I play them together, that's the first thing I want. Okay. So you can kind of see there's a bit. So let's make sure they're all good. So with the LFO here, usually this is routed to the level with the bass if we're trying to do like a wub. So we're going to move this back a bit there. And then let's check out the one called Nasty Breath. Nasty Breath has it as well. So we're going to do that. There we go. Now the only thing I need to mess with now is the sub. The sub needs to have the same body or the same flow as all the other sounds, which, you know, it doesn't have that. So we're going to lower this down. I'm going to apply that LFO here, 1/4 usually. Envelope mode so it doesn't loop constantly. So now when we play them together, it's going to sound like. Alright, cool. Now the next thing I need to focus on is pretty much, you know, looking at these guys and going to myself, alright, are they playing like at the same octave? So Nasty Breath is. John Wick is. Alright, so once we have that, it's time to really get into it. So, first off, I want to categorize these sounds as, are they stereo or are they in mono? So if we look at Nasty Breath, we can see, you know, the programming of it. It only has one voice. It has a hyper on it, which means there's some stereo information there because we are using a hyper effect. If we don't use the hyper, it loses stereo. But I do want a bit of stereo in this layer, so I'm going to leave it. So it has a little bit of width, a little bit of thickness to it. So next one, John. That one is fully mono. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with this guy being my wide or stereo bass. This is going to be my mono main bass, and then this is going to be my sub. Now, usually what I like to do is I don't like to have the sub be part of the group of the bass because I always feel like if you're over processing or doing a lot of processing to your bass lines, sometimes it might mess up the sub. So it's a lot better to have the sub separated away so you have a little bit more control over your thing. Okay, so once we have... We're going to look at both sounds and be like, all right, what frequencies do I want from this one and what frequencies do I want from the other one? So on the wide one, you know, we can see it has a lot of highs, so we don't really need that low end and that sub because we already have the sub. So I'm going to get rid of this here and just cut. And all I want from this is this and the highs, which sound tasty. All right, and then on the John Wick one, I just don't need the lows in it. So I'm going to get rid of that. So then when I play that together with the sub, now the goal is to make these sounds not sound like it's 2 of them, like 2 sounds together that you can tell, but make them sound like as one sound that is well layered, aka well. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to use the Camel Crusher, which is a free plugin that you guys can download, which really helps with just getting, you know, the compression and saturation settings. So we're hearing that. We're going to go with the British Clean. That one's going to give us a clean compression and clean saturation. Now, I am going to get rid of the reverbs inside of these presets since we're going to add our own reverb. All these effects like that are time-based, like reverb and delay, you want to have a separate, you want to have it on the bus channel of your bass rather than on individuals. First off, you're saving a lot of CPU power, and the other thing is that you're creating more of a correlation between them so that they sound similar, because now they're going through together into a reverb, so they're making memories in there. That's what I like to say. Okay. So once we have that there, guys, we're going to do a little bit more compression. So we're going to grab an Ableton compressor, which is just going to apply a hint of compression to this attack at 54, and the release around 50 should be fine. Ratio around 4. Get rid of makeup gain. Now, with the wide sound, again, I was saying we want a mono and a wide. This guy, I kind of want it to be a little bit wider as well, so I'm going to apply this plugin called Wider from Polyverse, which is a free download. Again, you just have to give them your email, get spammed a little, and it's all good, boy. So pretty much we're going to use to widen that a little bit more. So now in the center, we have John Wick going ham on these motherfuckers, and then on the sides, we have that little screechy-ass lead that you hear, and then on the center, we also have the sub. Now with the sub, same thing, we're just going to EQ it, and obviously we don't need some of the upper harmonics on it because we just need that part there. So once we have that, we have the sound there. And now let's put a little bit of reverb in the channel there so that we can get them to sound a little bit more correlated. And then what I want to do is I want to put an L2 limiter. And this is a cool trick that I was teaching my students for a while. But then Loopers made a video of him showing a track, and he also does it. My reasoning behind using this guy to really limit the bass, as you're going to see, is so that it catches the peaks and just gets everything sounding pretty much dynamically almost the same when it comes to the bass line. So if there's a bass that has this really nasty peak to it at certain parts, and it's louder than the other layer, it's going to kind of squish it down a bit so that it doesn't allow that to happen, and now it sounds more together. So once we have that there. Okay, next thing is just making sure everything is similar. Mono legato always on the bass, mono legato as well. So alright, so from here, it's time to make a beat with this. We did some simple just grouping of the sounds. We layered them well together, and then we're going to see what it's lacking when we play it in a song. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use here the Confessions pack. I'm going to get a drum loop. Just want something very simple. And we're going to make this drum loop. So now we're going to make a drop, just a very simple one, nothing really too crazy. We just want to test out the bass, and then from there we can start to fine-tune stuff. Okay, we're going to apply an LFO just to do the sidechain on it. Maybe a bit too much reverb, we're going to ease up on that. We're going to put you can kind of see it's starting to sound a bit weird there, so maybe we need to mess with this a bit. Let's lower this. Getting rid of the OTT there, I feel like it didn't really help. Maybe a bit too much. I'm going to lower this to 0. I like the fade. We're going to go with that. You can see the John Wick doesn't last as long, so we're going to increase it a bit. Let's just just add the sidechain on the sub as well. You can see we have a bit too much of the 616 frequency. It's coming from the John Wick sound. What I need to do there is just decrease on it. So it's not so, yeah. We're gonna bring it back. Now there is something missing. We're missing a lot of the mid-lows here. So one of the tricks I'm going to do is I'm going to use an SSL EQ, which I really like to add the sort of boost to this type of sound. We're probably going to do it right here. And we're going to boost around 300 hertz or 200 mainly. Let's go to around 600 as well, and reduce a bit there. Reduce a bit on the nasty breath. You can see wider doesn't really help us out that much, but I'm going to ease up on it. I still want a bit of width. So that's a lot better. Let's add a LFO tool to this too as well here to get it to flow. So now from there, it's just really making a beat. Now the thing here is that if we go up to a G, this is going to have a lot more low as well. So it's very important that you decide where you want to make your drop at, because from there you can really do a lot of damage to people on the dance floor, baby. So we're going to go. So we're going to make a drop. There we go. And now let's get it here. And let's get the lows. Okay, cool. And let's just add like a little bit of a uplifter and all that, so that it makes a little bit more sense. Because when you hear it just like that, you're like, you know. But you gotta set it up. You gotta pull back on the slingshot so that you can feel it. So let's add a bit of effects here to see how that would sound like.
Enter your body.
Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial. Sorry you can't see me right now, but pretty much that's how we go about in layering. Honestly, I wish you would have picked something that wasn't another sub, but these two basins, as you can see, we're just finding room for it in the stereo image, in the EQ, so that we can get them to fit nicely with each other. We got them shaped the same way. We got rid of reverb. We got rid of things that we didn't need that we were going to add in the bus. The more important thing that you can do is have a bass bus. That's hopefully what you get out of this video if you got this far. And as always, ninjas, if you guys want to support the channel, you can find Confessions Revolution Volume 3 over at evilsounds.com. It's going to be $34.99 the first week, and after that, it's going to jump up to $49.99. So if you want to save 15 bucks, make sure to pick it up. You know, not getting it, and if you're a G-House producer, it's a sin, dog. It's a sin. It's one of the best G-House packs out there. I say that with confidence. But you guys take care, ninjas. I'll see you guys next time for another brand new video.
Keep on turning body.